What is up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome back to Mind of a Savage. I'm your host, Felipe Savage, and today's a good day. Oh, yes, it is. So, as the title says, we're going to be talking a little bit about, well, not a little bit, about 15 ish minutes about Invincible. My boy K1, Killer Ghost of the Fair Shake, said he gave me a little idea to speak on this amazing show, and I'm gonna get that to the people. I'm definitely gonna give it to the people because this show, it definitely needs to be spoken about. I think on a lot of points, but more importantly, on how much, like, it just changed the whole game for me. See, I started to notice, especially around, hmm, I would say, was it the boys when the boys started? Uh, yeah, probably the boys, because this, I feel like this is where, like, one, they're on the same platform, right? I assume that Invincible was only pitched because of what the boys, had done already, you know. So to me, it seems like it was an easy, yeah, people love the boys, so they're gonna love Invincible, and they hit that right on the mark. I think if you don't love Invincible, you're probably young. You're probably used to like something like Dragon Ball Z. That you don't like to see people get hurt. You want people to come back because they find seven Dragon Balls. I have a little thing about Dragon Ball Z, but we'll talk about that another time. Invincible is a grown man's cartoon. Like it is definitely something that I believe to be, something they could keep up with for seasons long. And I know it is a comic book. I didn't do too much research on this thing because I want it to be as fresh as possible and as I want to say, as what's a good word for, like, I want to be fresh to this whole Invincible thing. I only want to take what they give me visually. Not that I mind reading the comic books, because I do know it does have comic books. Um, so that being said, I want to take in what they're visually giving me. And from season one, before I continue, spoilers are ahead. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of episodes that they had. So the entire season right now is over on Prime Video. You can stream it now. 100% of the season. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Video, and yes, go give it a watch. They have a ton of great stuff. We're not sponsored by Prime Video. I just want to let that known. I just like their content. I think they are slowly but surely getting higher in the seeding of good streaming platforms. They're not just there yet, but hey, they'll get there. So on to the actual podcast. Invincible. Invincible. Let's start episode 1. Episode 1 is basically like the introduction episode to the entire show, which uh you think out the gate it's going to be this lovey-dovey sweet. Again, this is me coming into it not knowing the comics. So if you read the comics, you knew what everything was going to happen, but again, I have no prior knowledge of Invincible whatsoever. I was just told, "Hey, watch this show. It's really, really good." So, as I do with everything, that people recommend to me, I try to get to it. And I got to this, and I'm so upset with myself that I didn't get to it sooner. Back to episode 1, though. Episode 1 starts off in the front of the White House, and there's two guards talking, and it just got crazy fast. And when I tell you that pacing right there in the first 4 or 5 minutes is continued throughout the season, like, it's amazing how they do that, and how they did it. Excuse me, because you don't see that a lot of times in like shows like this, in anime shows or cartoon shows. You know, I feel like they went above and beyond in how they really depicted each character. Um, so when this first initial scene is happening, I'm like, okay, they're in front of the White House. There's two blue guys that look like aliens. They're trying to get into the president to see the president, whatever. The group comes, Guardians of the Globe. We'll talk about how terrible that name is for a hero group, but we'll talk about it a little later in the cast. Right off the bat, I started noticing similarities to other superheroes that I know and love today. Like, there was one that looked like Batman. There was one that looked like The Flash, So I was like, this is kind of like some store brand cartoon, or let's call it cartoon because I think anime is more different vibe than this. Um, and it was like, oh, okay, that's how they're going. They're not really different, I would say, than other superheroes. But once Omni-Man, once we get our first view of Omni-Man, I start to see like, okay, he's not a part of this group. He's just a really good superhero that, wants to help people. And again, we have to stay with the pacing that they just showed us. Basically, it was an all-out fight. People were getting flung in the air. People were getting crushed by buildings or almost crushed by a tank. It was insane. Like opening scene, I was like, "Oh man, this is gonna be crazy." And as it continued, it just got crazier. The show just got crazier. That specific episode got crazier. But I really enjoyed the opening, and that's where I feel like I got hooked instantly, right? And then I'm like, okay, you know what? It's not slow because I hate when shows start slow. Like, give it to me, and when I mean give me everything you got, episode one, give me everything you got. And they gave us everything they had episode one, and they had more for episode two, three, four, five, six. Going straight into Invincible himself, Mark Grayson played. He was very well written. I liked how he really stood out as a superhero. You know, just turning 18 and then finding out that he has powers. Well, he always knew that he would get powers. He just didn't know when he would get powers, right? So when he got his powers, you were excited. You were like, "Oh man, he has the most powerful superhero in Omni-Man as his dad." And I'm like, "Okay, you know what? This is cool. Like, this is real cool." And then all the Guardians watches start going red, and everybody is like, yo, like freaking out, getting to their base, and my boy Omni-Man starts slaying everybody. And I'm like, nah, this is insane. He's literally killing every single one of them. And I'm like, but hold on, like what's going on? They didn't give us no, oh, there was a conspiracy, nothing. It was like, nah, it's just an all-out war. I'm like, what? So he's bodying people left and right. I'm talking about popping heads, ripping spines out, cutting people in half. It was insane. It was so insane. And I'm like, nah, what the heck happened? So after it had happened, you could see that Omni Man's being very like, oh man, he was being very like hidden. Like you could see that he's keeping a secret. But I'm here thinking the whole time, I'm like, all right, maybe you know what, those guys were actually the bad guys and they were conspiring. They had a conspiracy and shit like that. I'm like, nah, this is not, no way, no shot. They just helped the president, right? And when that all happened, I started to figure out like, nah, this dude, Omni Man, diff. He's diff. He was a different breed because you could clearly see his power. And I don't want to speak about power levels and all that whack shit because I know that's Dragon Ball Z's thing, but this guy was like cream of the crop. And then they show you how he became that his world was this superhero world, and they started killing off all the weak people so they could only breed greatness, and it was crazy. it like Invincible getting his powers and then his dad teaching him, you could start to notice like a little love hate thing. Like if his dad kind of like despised him for getting his powers, I felt like that was something there. Like, oh, his dad didn't want him to get powers because dad wanted to be the strongest. But no, his dad actually wanted him to get powers. He wanted him to be just as strong as him so they could take over the fucking world. And then like it was so crazy because when Omni Man went and destroyed that other world, that other alien race that kept coming through the portal and trying to kill everybody and enslave the human race, dude went into the portal and destroyed it, leveled this Earth, bro, leveled it. Well, I don't know if it's an Earth, but alien planet, whatever. And I'm like, nah, this guy Omni Man diff. He's diff, like, and diff can mean a lot of things. I'm talking about in his head. He crazy. He's crazy. He's insane, and it starts to get like real. People are going crazy. Do Cecil, basically like the Nick Fury. Think of the Nick Fury of this show, right? So you have your Nick Fury and Cecil like trying to this like figure out what the fuck's going on, what happened to the Guardians of the Globe. They have thoughts that it's Omni Man because Omni Man was the lone survivor because it looked like an attack. But to me, I'm like, there's no way y'all not having him top of y'all list. But I get it from what the guy Sisu said. He says you can't just make that remark because you could shine a light on something that's not there, and then that guy could say, you know what, y'all, Omni Man could have said, nah, y'all putting me in this light that I'm not. You know what, y'all could save yourselves. So I understood that you needed 100% proof. You needed everything that you can possibly get before you accuse somebody like that. But once they figured it out and everybody put all the pieces together, it started getting crazy. um Omni Man started like just going insane, trying to get Mark, Invincible, to be on his side, and nah, these guys are peasants, they're animals. Don't go beneath yourself and think you're one of them. But he's like, Dad, I am one of them. And I really felt for Invincible right there when he started saying all that, because you got to think about, no matter how high you are, and just, it doesn't have to be powers, it could be anything. You never, you could, it could be just status. Like, you're rich. If I get rich off of YouTube, off of streaming, whatever, I'm never gonna say, oh man, these guys are peasants and stuff like that, because no matter what, you was there, and Mark was basically saying that. Invincible was saying that, like, these are my people. Just because I got superpowers doesn't mean I'm gonna just start destroying the world, or try to enslave the human race to join the Confederate of the Galaxy, whatever the fuck. Like, it was just a really good season, guys. I know I said spoilers, or if I didn't say spoilers and you already saw it, heard all this, I'm sorry, but I'm like, yo, it was crazy. I don't even know, man. When he started fighting him, when Invincible started fighting Mark, yo, it was clearly one-sided. Mark literally just got his powers like a few months ago. And Omni Man did not hold back. He leveled the side of a mountain just to beat it in his son, that he wants his son to join him. I'm sorry, but I'm not joining nobody if they beating the living crap out of me. And let alone my dad. They shouldn't be doing that in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that was just crazy. And they really went with it, and Omni Man at one point tells Mark, Invincible, oh, your mom, she's my pet. And I'm like, nah, that's diff. Yo, I was like, nah, he's ridiculous, bro. You know what that is? I don't care what type of superpowers I ever get. If I ever call my wife a pet, she killing me. I could be immortal. I could be the immortal in the show, and she's killing me. Like it, that joint was it was crazy. It was very very crazy. The show was so good. I think that it has to be one of the more better first seasons in a comic book, anime, cartoon show in a long while that I've seen. Like uh the how good this was in season 1 is probably the same to me as like Demon Slayer. Like Demon Slayer is super good. Season 1 super good, and then Invincible's like probably even above Demon Slayer. Because even in the fake other heroes like that were clearly knockoffs, like you were just like you felt bad, bro, when he was beating the shit out them. Yo, you felt bad. You felt it in your heart, like golly. But that being said, you know the Guardians of Galaxy did die to the hands of Omni Man, but they did like kind of like build on a new team, on a new team, the new Guardians of the Globe. As you see, they really built on showing you like, okay, this team isn't the best team that the world has, but it's possibly the only team that the world has. And that being said, there's a lot of teams, like there's a lot of groups on this earth that have superpowers. I wonder how frequent the people in this invincible world have powers. Like, is there like, because I know they said like Fright Force, um, uh, I don't know. Oh man, I'm just still amazed. I'm again I'm pretty fresh off this show, but Omni Man takes a lot out of you. Like you got to focus on what this dude was doing because he was hiding his costume from his wife and Mark, and the wife found the costume, and I was like, nah, this is a drama. This is a drama show. This is getting crazy. You know, it was a very good show. It was very put together. I didn't feel like anything was rushed. They gave everything time that needed time. They knew to pass over things that would bore you. Like it was just something so different. And my only, I think, bad takeaway from this is that, man, I wish there was more episodes because it kind of felt short. But I don't know if it felt short because I watched everything in one shot, and I'm assuming that that's why it was. But it felt short. Like it felt like there was a lot more they could do, a lot more they could say. Like Robot's couple of episodes was pretty amazing. I liked how like they showed the twins um basically building him a body. Um they were really good. I feel like they were really good with stuff. They were really really good with stuff. Um, quick like just my, I would say like my from the people we saw. So Omni Man, the Immortal, Invincible. I know War Woman, um, Adam Eve, Robot, Monster Girl, Red Rush, all these guys, right? From what I've seen, Omni Man 20 times all of them, right? So him already being a beast and he's going to get, it seemingly looks like he's going to go get his people. I'm like, okay, this is going to get crazy because they def going to destroy the world. But then when Alan the Alien came back, and I hope that's his name, um, when he came back the second time, and he said basically to Invincible, "I'm sorry. Oh, that's so crazy. So Omni Man is your dad, and this, right?" It seemed like maybe they could band together a lot of the places that the, is it Vertimite? Vertimite? I forgot what's his race called. Omni Man's race. But yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about because y'all seen the show already, right? Def did. I think that Alan, the alien, and Invincible are gonna try to get all the worlds that have been enslaved, like most powerful people, and then it's just gonna be like an all-out war next season. Like it's gonna be a crazy war, like an actual war. People are gonna go head to head because if you think about it, they already stole like half the superheroes from other shows. Why not take concepts from those shows, and why not take storylines and arcs from those other, not shows, excuse me, comics. I'm assuming that in season 2 we see like a huge war breakout, um like not Endgame ish or Infinity War ish. That scale is um probably too big. Like, but I just see like Omni Man coming back with like a group of 7, and this is the strongest 7 in my race. And they called like the Killer 7 or something, some cheesy name, because that's every group in this show has a cheesy name. And I think Invincible's gonna have people, Adam Eve. He's gonna have Robot. Uh, they'll fuck around and find a way to revive some of the people themselves. Because they have that room that Sisu showed Invincible when Sisu was trying to recruit him again. So that room might be very useful in what's to come for season 2. But again, that's just my prediction for season 2. Again, I have not seen anything besides what they've given us. I try not to look up stuff because I like to feel the excitement of seeing something for the first time, hearing it for the first time. And I'm not going to take any more of you guys' time. I think 20 minutes is probably a little bit more than I wanted to go, but I hope you guys did enjoy my little breakdown of season 1 of Invincible, my little review, my likes, my dislikes, which were very few dislikes. Yeah. Again, Invincible now streaming on Amazon Prime. If you have, excuse me, Prime Video. But if you have Amazon Prime, you do have Prime Video. They have tons and tons and tons of shows on there. Without Remorse, we spoke about that. The Boys we haven't spoke about, but we will get to it at some point in time. Invincible has to be hands down. I want to say the new generation of shows that we're probably going to start seeing more of, and how graphic this one was. Boy, oh boy, I can't wait. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know, have a good day. Have a good night. Get going, because I know you got this. And ladies and gentlemen, goodbye.